Hi, I'm sci-fi and fantasy author Michael LaVoice, aka LaVoice, in your head. And I'm finna talk nerdy with you. Been covering in the last few weeks a series of IPs that matter. To me, anyway. IPs that I think should be passed down from generation to generation because I think they're important. For various reasons. Some of them just because they're fun. We're going to move into what I call the weird, the odd, and the ugly this time, with some off-genre properties that some of you may or may not even know about. Start off with Better Off Dead. Now, my writer buddy and fellow podcaster and YouTuber David Batterina will agree that this relatively obscure upon release, but HBO and VHS turned cult classic, starring John Cusack, David Ogden Stiers, Diane Franklin, Curtis Armstrong, and Amanda Weiss, is one of the most eminently quotable films of 1985. And, to my mind, one of the funniest. It follows the misadventures of a young man named Lane Meyer, who after being dumped by his girlfriend Beth for the captain of the ski team. Northern Cali living, am I right? So, Lane, after failed attempts at winning Beth back and finding a new girl, then spends the rest of the film trying several different ways to unalive himself, all whilst navigating the awkwardness of his late teens, having an utter weirdo for a best friend, and constantly being challenged to street races by a pair of Japanese brothers, one of whom speaks no English at all, and the other who learned English by watching Howard Cosell on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Did I also mention he's stalked by a thuggish paperboy over a $2 debt? The entire film. Look, find it, stream it, and join the cult. It's worth it. Speaking of John Cusack, you can't go wrong with the quintessential romance movie from a few years later in 1989 and subsequently the early 90s of Say Anything. With a supporting cast of some absolute greats like Ione Skye, John Mahoney, Baby Newirth, both of Fraser fame, and of course John's sister Joan as his character's sister in the film, along with brief appearances by Jeremy Piven, always brilliant, and even Don the Dragon Wilson. Just watch for him, you'll see him. The film is the story of opposites attracting and going on that greatest of adventures, falling in love. This movie also sports one of the greatest soundtracks of late 80s music ever assembled in one place. We've got songs by Nancy Wilson, Joe Satriani, Living Colour, Cheap Trick, Fishbone, and the immortal love theme In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. The film has fantastic dialogue, some of which was actually improvised on the spot by Cusack, and some of which even inspired lyrics by one of my favorite punk bands of all time, left coast punk rockers MXPX. Now you'll have to go watch the movie to figure out where that shows up and what lyrics were inspired, and if you do, you won't be sorry. So, check those movies out, the weird, the odd, and the ugly, and take a break from the genres that we all know and love, and come back and tell me what you thought about it in the comments. And come back next time when I get to be LaVoice in your head.